Tonight, we're going to be racing here around the Dover Motor Speedway for tonight's coverage of the Friday Night Lights Series, the Roller Coaster 200, live here on Maconi Entertainment. Pleasure to have you all with us here tonight. We got Ron Mons up here in the booth alongside me. Myself is Kirk Mills, and I got Ron Mons up here in the booth. Howie Burrows will be our producer this afternoon. We're going to have ourselves a 33-car field around Dover with some of the best cars in the service. Ron, what are you looking forward to, buddy?
I'm looking forward to some good racing here. This track opened up in the funny year 1969, and it is a funny racetrack. I'm always confused just by the existence of, Dover, Delaware, period. But this track is very odd. Pretty much all concrete, was asphalt in a brief period of time. Used to be a horse racing track. There's a lot of hotels around here. There's a mall in the parking lot. I've been here in real life. It is a track of sheer confusion, but I think these drivers are going to have to try and master it, sort of like a Rubik's Cube. They just have to go throughout this race, have very precise hands, and do some very specific movements to try and crack the code here tonight.
Absolutely right. Floating is going to be the main deal here. You can see Andrew Dyson won the race last week at Watkins Glen in dominating fashion. That guy is just undefeatable when it comes to road courses. However, I will tell you what, he's going to be a driver who's going to be fun to watch all season long. He's currently sitting P7 in points. You can see our point standings there on the screen. Adam Benefield, top of the boards right now. Pretty comfortable lead over Hicksonball. And he only has one win on the season. Some guys here have three, like Lucas Hoytsma, but still sitting back P4. Consistency will win out through this season.
Oh, it absolutely will, and it absolutely has to this point in the campaign. You look at the drivers up at the top that have been able to punch themselves out to be the main stars here this season. They've just been the consistent ones. Now, they have had their fair share of odd and sketchy moments, whether it be just poor rounds, DNFs, not actually being here to participate in the events, either because of some other obligations or a suspension. In the case of Adam Benefield, who's been able to bounce back quite well here this campaign. It has been a real odd season, but clearly those three have just been the three horsemen.
Alrighty, well, let's go ahead and get started with tonight's starting lineup for the Roller Coaster 200. Starting on the pole tonight, it is the driver about to pop up here on your screen. There we go. Driver, the number 79. You can see Junsa Lim making his first career, I believe, in the Friday Night Lights. He races in Full-Length Cup Challenge, but he got the pole tonight just by 4 1/1000ths of a second over fast Andrew Dyson. Starting in third place tonight will be driver of the 8 car. It is Nick Vroman going out there trying to defeat all these guys. He's alongside Bryson Hicksonball in the 63. Starting in fifth tonight, Ryan Von Hinchel in that 2 car seems quick in practice, good in quali as well. Hunter Truel in the 71 will roll off in 6th. 7th, Eric Wineland, alongside Peyton Lindsley. That will start in 8th. Payson Lindsay. Let me try that. There we go. 9th place, Jesse Winslow. And starting in 10th tonight, Cliff Mullins. Great qualifying effort for the 44 team.
Yeah, and looking outside of your top 10, Mason Lowry going to start this race in 11th in the number 42 car. He'll be next to Blake Kluot, looking to keep momentum rolling after a real impressive run at Watkins Glen last week. Aiden Amaro is going to start this race in lucky spot P13 next to Matthew Boston Wheeler in the 10 machine. Right behind there, it is going to be your 15th place starter of Michael Deach alongside Casey Graves in the 01. Row number 9 is going to be Tanner Marty next to Tyler W. Hunter, one in the 29 car, the other in the 48. And then rounding out your top 20 here tonight will be Wesley Napier next to Adam Benefield.
Starting in 21st this afternoon will be Noah Woods in the 56 car alongside Brandon Hunsinger there in the 92. Starting 23rd will be Bill Hull in the 76 alongside the 35 of Michael Mesnard. Starting in 25th, Jacob Simpson in the 22 alongside Bryce Reiner in the 5. Got a long way to go for those two. 27th tonight will be Seth Fowdy in the 77 machine alongside Tim Phillips starting in 28th. 29th, William Owens in the 30 and Jarek Grodzicki starting in 30th. 31st tonight will be Dave Hoytsma, followed by Daniel Llewellyn, and finally our final driver in the lineup, Steve Benjamin in the 53, will round out today's 33 starters. Today it is going to be, let's take a look at our track facts real quick to see what our stage lengths are going to be and everything. Here in just a second, we'll have that pulled up here for you. You can see 200 laps around this little short racetrack, 45 laps to stage 1, 90 laps to stage 2, with 4 sets of tires and 17x incident limit. Gotta avoid trouble if you're going to be running here at the Monster Mile. Now, as you can see, we're going to be getting one more lap here before we get the green flag. This is going to be one hell of a race, Ron. Just for a half a lap, tell me, who's your picks to win tonight? I think we may have lost Ron.
Oh,
Ron?
as I was speaking into dead air there. No, the IQ of a mud flap. Junso Lim is a driver that we've gotten to cover a decent amount over on the full-length Cup Challenge side of things, most recently at Bristol just a couple of weeks ago. Really impressive on the concrete there. I'm certainly going to be keeping my eye on him. But around a racetrack like this, I feel like Bryson Ixenball, in terms of regular runners here in this championship, may be the man to beat. I think he's certainly going to be quick. It hasn't been exactly the most dominant campaign for that driver, the number 63 car, through to this point in the season. So I think he's looking to try and get a good result here. And hey, a win would certainly do him many favors as we get towards the end of the spring.
Absolutely. Well, here we go, boys and girls. Here we go. From Dover, reach down, pull them belts tight one more time. Starting on the pole. Of course, Junson Lim and that 79 is going to try and go from the front, stay up front all day and try to win the race. A lot of guys in the back have a lot of speed. They're going to try and win it from behind. Pace car on pit road. That 76 car comes out of turn number 4. You're going to see it enter that green restart zone. Boogity, boogity, boogity. Let's go racing, boys. Heading into turns 3 and 4 for the first time today, you can see that 79 pull away to a lead as Dyson falls into second, and you can see Lim leading lap number 1.
And Jun's doing everything he needed to do off the jump as the field just slotted out to be the Pied Piper right behind. You look at Andrew Dyson, Bryson Ixenball, Nicholas Vroman, Hunter Trull. Everybody's still starting to squabble. Vroman in that bubblegum. Is that bubblegum pink? Just whatever that color is. I like it. It certainly stands out here on the racetrack, but he's been able to make up some moves, already jumping his way up to third.
Most of the top 10 already getting single filed out. Most of the field still behind, all the way back to Matthew Boston Wheeler and Casey Graves are still single file up front, but not for long. Here comes the side-by-side move. You can see Vroman move to the inside of the 41 of Dyson, trying to make a pass for that spot.
And keeping our eyes throughout the pack as these drivers are proving themselves to be pretty apt for the challenge here at Dover, as it's been a smooth start here. 4 laps already in the books, make that 4.5 as they head their way down the back straightaway. Fantastic start from Nicholas Vroman as we take a look at a first set of replays here. This is the one that he was able to pull off there on Andrew Dyson. Dyson off the back of a dominating win last time out of Watkins Glen, feeling more pressure in the first 5 laps than he did throughout the entirety of a Watkins Glen race 1 week ago.
Gotten really calm up until you see this battle back here in the back. Looks like they got single filed out now, and now it's all about saving your tire, making sure you get comfortable into a rhythm. You don't want to get out of sync with these guys. You got to stay up to par. And if you're a guy like Adam Benefield, you're going to be marching your way to the front, just like Vroman is, right knocking on the door of our leader, Junson Lim. Vroman's going to get a run here off the exit. When is he going to make his move? Could be in the next lap or two, but I think that 8 car is going to try and make a dive on that 79 any moment now.
You know, I've got that odd sort of looming, like, fear, for lack of a better term. It's just a little bit tense seeing these 2 drivers running right nose to tail. It's like whenever you drop a little bit of baking soda in some vinegar and you're waiting for that sort of volcano effect to take place. It hasn't happened yet, but I'm waiting for this to boil over. I'm waiting for Vroman to try and get that move done on Junso Lim to jump up into that top spot. 2 drivers not usually running in these cars, running very well in these cars.
Yeah, today, I will say 79 is probably going to get a post-race penalty because he doesn't have the right contingencies today, but I'm sure that he'll get that fixed for the next time he comes on out. Remember, this is the Friday Night Lights series here for the Full-Length Cup Challenge, and look at the dive down to the bottom. You can see the 8 car of Vroman goes down to the bottom, tries to make it work. 79 cuts the air off, and he'll have to try again another lap. Not going to work this time to finish out lap number 8, lap number 9.
See, you know, he may get a penalty, but at the moment, we still appreciate him. He's holding on to that top spot. If he gets that checkered flag out there on the road, that'll matter to him. But there's still a long way left to go between then and now. We're just barely getting to the other end of the first 10 laps of this race. It's already been pretty racy, but these top two, you can just see it from that camera shot as we look high above the grandstands here at Dover. Look at that gap between second and third. Roman about 9/10 of a second to a full second in front of Andrew Dyson, who isn't even a rolling roadblock, a side-by-side at the front.
Yep, just like that. You see Vroman making another dive to the bottom. I don't think that's where he's going to be able to make that pass work right now. 79's able to roll the top a lot better than Vroman is rolling the bottom in 3 and 4. It's not going to be able to work. He gets a heck of a run down the back, gets a good shot at it, but he doesn't quite get there enough to where he could actually make the pass. But you're right, that giant gap there, I think, is there for a reason, and that reason is that the cars behind the 8 and the 67 rather. I think that, let me go ahead and clarify something. I just noticed this. The driver in the lead, Jun Lim, on the scoreboard will show 67. However, his paint scheme is showing number 79. So the way we're going to call it is Jun Lim in the 79 as it is out there on the racetrack. That is what he's driving. That's what we'll call it as. In the meantime, you can see back here, Eddie Namarro on the top side, racing right now with Jacob Simpson. Jacob decides to pull in behind, and now Amaro's trying to make a move on the 44. Back here, the further back you get, there'll just be large pockets between these lines of cars, and each car is going to be in its own way trying to get back towards the front.
And, you know, you did bring up a good point talking about your race leader of Jun Lim, and funny we mentioned that. I heard a call from Howie on the production truck saying that Jun is going to get hammered with penalties. He may get about as hammered as my my Uncle McFinnigan, but that's neither here nor there. But I think either way, he's certainly shown some good pace. And we do have the All-Star race coming up here on Maconi Entertainment in just 24 hours' time, where he's probably going to be participating in that event there. We'll hopefully have his number fully settled at come time for that race. But you know, he's shown some super strong pace, and Vroman hasn't really been able to get a move done. He's certainly gone for it, but every single time, Lim has been able to shake off the challenge like a bad case of the fleas.
Yeah, you can see he cut the air off there. He had that car running up the hill, the 8 car of Vroman there, having a struggle bus right now. Yeah, that huge gap makes me think that we got cars like Andrew Dyson and Hicksonball. Oh, we got a car off the pace right here. Is that Peyton, I believe, in the 89? That's... make sure we got that name right. Yeah, Peyton Lindsay off the pace, going down pit road early here on lap 16 from front mid-teens, going down pit road. We'll have to have one of our correspondents go down there and see what's going on. As Vroman gets a nose down there, that's the most ground he's had since the start of the race, but it's not going to work. That 79 is able to carry the outside. No, it actually might work. Holy cow, he's still sticking up the nose there. Going down into turn 1s and 2, you can see on lap 17 here, not quite going to make it work. Jun Lim still holding on to the lead.
Ooh, as you can see a little bit of contact there to look like heading off into 3 and 4. Junsa feeling a lot of pressure directly behind from Vroman. It's probably the most intimidating a bright pink race car has ever been in the history of mankind, but he is occupying those rear view mirrors quite a lot there. So we'll have to see whether or not he will be able to get that move done, or whether these efforts will just be null and void every single time. Goes for a handful of times on a handful of laps, so it just has not worked. I feel like a law of averages will make Vroman your race leader at some point in time, because he just hasn't given up.
Again, Dyson and Hicksonball, the two drivers you saw there in the back part of your screen, these guys are trying to catch these top two, but I don't think they're trying too hard. I think they're trying to save their stuff so that way they can go get them later in the run. That's always going to be the right thing to do. Is the top two, again, side by side for a short second. As Lim and Vroman, again, up towards the front, you can see on your screen, this is just way too close to miss right here. He's going to dive back down to the bottom. This is just early race fun for these two. Constantly battling side by side, trying to make it work. He's just waiting for a single moment that 79 can slip up. That might be it right there. He's got the door. He's going to be there. Heading into turn number 3. They're side by side for the lead.
Yeah, side by side squabbling up through 3 and 4. I think Lim may be able to keep the momentum rolling on that high side, and yes, he will. Vroman gonna have to slip back behind. It's getting frustrating for that driver of the number 8 machine. He's just there behind, just constantly seeing that same car up in front, and no matter what he does, it hasn't worked. There's a big bit of wall contact there coming at too. Yeah, that's not gonna help his one bit.
Yeah, it's not going to help him out. It's not going to help his race one bit. Exactly right. Roman there hitting the outside wall on the exit of 2 caused him to lose a lot of ground, and guess who's caught right up back to the back bumper of Roman? It's Dyson in the 41 car, who's normally known as a road course ringer, but he can win in anything. He can win on any racetrack. That car's just so dang good. Good driver behind the wheel. And sitting P3 right now, waiting for another mistake out of the 8 or the 79. He might be able to get his way up towards the front a little bit further. But these top 3 have now singled themselves out as the battle for 5th is starting to heat up a little bit between Hunter Truel and the 2 car of Von Henschel. Von Henschel tried to make a move on the 71 a little bit ago and just couldn't quite get the job done.
And we'll have to see if he can get that move done here in the not too far off future. We keep an eye on those 2 battling for that final spot inside of the top 500. Truel currently having the upper hand in that battle. However, Ryan Von Henschel not going to give up quite yet. We've talked about Von Henschel and that 2 machine. It's a big sideways snap heading out of 4 for him. Doesn't want to have more moments like that. Otherwise, he'll probably end this race with maybe not a clean race car and certainly not with clean pants. Side by side once again for the lead.
Yeah, oh my goodness. Very loose race car. Junso Lim almost lost the race car on the back straightaway, able to keep it straight. And now those 3 cars, I think the 79 is getting way too loose to be able to handle right now. And that's just what's bringing these guys in. It's just dirty airs making it really difficult, and it's so hard to pass. And so now that 79, because he's burnt his stuff up, is going to be under fire. Next moment he has like that, he might not have the lead for too long. Down the back straightaway again. And this is where we want to keep the camera right now. These top 3, anything could happen at any second, knowing this track. Look out, just keep the car straight and it might work out for you. Take a look at that.
As the flames come out of the exhaust and you have 3 cars packed in like sardines at the front of the field, I gotta wonder who's gonna bite first here, Kirk. Is it going to be Vroman finally getting that move done on Lim? Will it be Dyson trying to get a move done on Vroman? Vroman overshot the turn a bit through 3 and 4 in that 41, pulling alongside of the 8. Not able to get it working as the 8 was just able to keep that momentum rocking and rolling there on the high side. But this is a fantastic battle that we've got at the front of the field. These drivers, you can tell they're comfortable and relaxed. They're just kind of throwing punches, but they're not like actively like putting everything they've got into it. They're just kind of moving with the flow. They're going with the flow. The lactic acids are flowing and they're having a good time.
Another move for Roman down to the bottom, this time into turn number 1. He's going to be side by side. He's going to try and put that right front fender right on the left rear quarter panel. Trying to get some dirty air on that spoiler. Not going to work this time. Has to fall back in and try again the next time by. Remember, folks, we're trying to get the lap 45. It's very important that we got to get a lap 45 for the stage. Once these guys get there, they'll be able to get a caution, be able to get some new tires on the car, make some adjustments to what they're running, and maybe we see some changes up towards the front. But right now, that 79 is running a very unique line, his own diamond line. Pretty happy about it, looks like. You can see that right now. He's able to hold off 3 of the fastest guys in this series, and he hasn't run in this series very often for Jun Salim. So just keep that up. It might work out for him in the long run.
Ooh, as he does overshoot the turn a bit. Yeah, there we go.
Right there to the inside. You can see Vroman down to the bottom. He's got the lead. He's got the advantage for the first time today. He has actually gotten by the nose of the 79 rather. And that time, door banging down the back straightaway. Not over yet. Battle for the lead still raging on here on lap number 30, going into 31.
Oh, they both overshot the bottom there a bit. You can see that 8 of Vroman start to slide up the track, but he leads that lap. Vroman finally able to punch out, clears him, and now look at Andrew Dyson looking to squabble with Junsa as well. One point that I do want to raise talking about Andrew Dyson as he battle scrapes in claws to jump his way up in a second. In the entire history of him running in this series, he has never raced at Dover. Probably run in the full-length Cup Challenge side of things, but here in the Friday Night Lights series, never started here. So this is slightly unknown territory here for Andrew Dyson. Really impressive to see him hit the ground running as well as he has.
Side by side still for that second place spot as Vroman scoots out to a little bit of a lead away from these guys. you know, he's just been waiting for the moment to get by that 79 machine, and he finally got the job done, and now the 41's got to try and do the same thing. He's going to be real tight here on the exit. He's pushing him way up out of the groove. He had to get out of the gas, and that's opening the door now for Hicksonball to try and make it a 3-car battle for second place.
And so the complexion of this battle is starting to change. As big wall contact there. I believe that was Dyson smacking it with the right-hand side of the car. And now you can see that's Hicksonball looking to try and get the move done here on Lim. They're side-by-side through 3 and 4, trying to get the juices flowing for his race there. He was slotted right behind, kind of just minding his own business, but ever since then, he's kicked on the Hyperjets, kicked on the Cuisinart, to invoke a little bit of Spaceballs terminology, as ready to get down and jiggy with it. You can see him get a little bit sideways as he headed his way through turn number 2, nearly chased Lim up into the wall. We'll see if we have a case of deja vu out of 4.
While those two battle side by side for third, the top two have scooted out to a little bit over a second over each other, half a second between each other, and a half a second back to this third place battle. You're looking back further in the field right now. Wesley Napier back here in 17th. These guys have been all over the racetrack while we've been covering the front of the field. Time to take a look at the back. You can see it has been kind of clumps of cars together. Not many cars really, it's been very clean start to the day.
It has been a very smooth start to this race. We haven't seen a lot of chaos, incidents, death, destruction, carnage, chaos, and hell. But again, it is still Dover. Lots of odd and peculiar things can happen here as we see Bryson Hicksonball get that move done on June Cell Lim. Quick little story. I always like to break down to a little story here. The only time I ever went down to Dover was in 2016. And when leaving the track after competing in a kart event that day, driver right in front of us blew up their engine. Not even out there on the racetrack. It was out on the roads around Dover Speedway. Guy just turned his engine into basically a paste and veneer on the side of the road.
Well, that just goes to remind you to change your oil this week, folks. I guess that's what I get out of that story right now. So here comes, you see Blake Kluwat going down to the inside of Von Henschel there in the 2 car. Kluwat has had quite the year. He just now moved up now to 6th place as he's trying to chase down Benefield, by the way. Let's talk about him for a second. Adam Benefield is in a heck of a position today. Remember, he started this afternoon in 20th spot. He has gained all those spots up to get to 5th place. What a run for that 83 car again. He is always on that most positions gained board, especially when he makes a mistake in qualifying today. He totaled the car on his second lap, and now he's out there trying to make up the ground that he would have had in the first place if he would have gotten that lap in.
Yeah, this is quite the befuddling situation for him to be involved in currently. So I think at the moment everybody's just trying to settle down and relax as we try and settle down and relax here on the show right before we get to the end of this stage. I'm keeping my eye once again here. I was going to make this point earlier on Brian Von Henschel and the season that he has had so far. I think he's looking to finally get out of first gear for what has been a pretty brutal campaign for him, all things considered. Been a rough start, no top 10s, no top 5s, obviously. His average finish at this point in the season is about 31st. He's looking to get something rolling here. It's been a pretty tumultuous start of the 2026 campaign for that driver of the number 2 car. But hey, the number 2 was a number that I ran throughout my entire karting career. I always secretly like to root for the number 2. And I want these drivers to have a good run in this series as well. You don't have fun in the sim racing realm if you constantly get struck by falling anvils.
Well, I can tell you right now, one's about to fall here in about 3 laps when we hit the final stage. You can see it's coming in here. 45 is the lap they got to get to start the end of stage number 1, our final lap for that stage, going into stage 2. And right now, Vroman up front, if we could just take a quick look up towards the front. Vroman leading this race by quite a bit over Dyson. This is exactly the spot you want to be in. Plenty of gap to second. Third's way back. Fourth even further. You don't need to worry about those guys. You only need to hang on for another couple laps. So Vroman through turns 3 and 4 again will come to get 2 more laps to go in the stage. And I believe pit road should be closed this time by.
As I'm not really seeing anybody pull off an odd, goofy strategy call, but I will say one point that was kind of lost in all that. Dave Hoytsma dropped out of the race in the opening stage, which will prevent us from any sort of confusion between he and Junsel Lim behind the wheel of what is marked on our graphics as a 67 car, what, according to the paint scheme, is the 79. That's Hoytsma's number usually. Thankfully, we avoided that as we are now on the white flag.
Yep, final lap here in the stage. You can see up front Vroman. Let's see if we can get a camera there just to make sure you get that leader crossing the stripe. Always something important to see here at the oval racetracks like Dover. You can see right here, when he crosses the stripe, he will be, yet again, another stage winner here at Dover. Getting the job done, making it look pretty good. Had to be patient behind Junsel Lim until the door opened. And now you can see the final order across your screen as the caution comes out. Let's take a look and see of our stage 1 results. You can see that on your screen now. Nicholas Vroman on the top of the boards. Dyson sitting P2. Hicksonball P3. Junsel Lim in 4th. Benefiel in 5th. Blake Kluwat in 6th with Bryce Reiner in 7th. 8th, Ryan Von Henschel. 9th, Hunter Trull alongside Jesse Winslow in 10th. Round out your top 10 who are going to receive some points. And we'll go ahead and see if we can't take a quick break. These cars are going to come down pit road, going to get some tires put on the car, and we're going to go ahead and take a quick step aside while that happens. Once the cars get those tires back on the race car, we'll be coming back and getting this thing doubled up, ready for the start of stage number 2. Again, you're watching the Roller Coaster 200 here live on Maconi Entertainment. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Friday Night Lights series here for the Roller Coaster 200, here live from Dover International Speedway. Monster Mile. Up front, you can see that 8-car of Roman in that pink machine, absolutely waiting for the right moment to strike. He got the job done in stage 1 and able to take the lead away. Now Dyson's going to start P2, and that 67 of Junsel Lim is going to have a ways to go. Back underway, we're back under green. All right, big news, folks. Von Hinchel had to go into the pit lane and go back again. They had a penalty for too many pit stalls. So that means he has to go from the back to the front. And also, Andrew Dyson. You can see that there, the side-by-side battles between that new car showing up, 67. Guess what? That's his actual paint scheme. It just did not come through on the trading paints until the right time. So we got it now, 67 there. Running P number 3, trying to catch up to the inside of the 41. Not quite able to make it happen that time as Roman scoots out to over a half a second lead to start things off here in stage 2.
Well, it wouldn't be an iRacing broadcast if it wasn't for Trading Paints having some sort of issue. And in fact, if you've had an issue with Trading Paints, why not write to us at the new email address? I use Trading Paints.
Oh, they're wrecking on the back straightaway. Yeah, look out, folks, right there. The 48 Tyler Hunter and the 21 of Eric Wineland made contact on the backstretch. They keep it green, keep it straight, but what a save from both cars. Let's take a look and see what happened.
And that right there, ladies and gentlemen, is why you don't cut to shtick a few laps after a restart. Let's see it as they headed their way out of 3 and 4. I was already getting close, the 21 and the 48. It was fine as they headed their way down the start-finish straightaway, but it was coming out of 2 where things started to go awry. There you can see that 21 gets a little bit tight, I think, midway through the turn, and there's the contact. Bounce off the wall. The 42 piles in there as well. Just a simple round of bumper cars. All those drivers should probably go out and buy a lottery ticket from the Dover Lottery crew. That was so easy for it to end in catastrophe.
I don't believe that was luck. I believe that was a lot of talent to keep the car straight after the fact. Unfortunately, a little bit of an error in judgment sent that 48 up in the outside wall. 21 did a great job saving it. Mason Lowry did a good job getting the car slowed down before any chaotic accident could happen. But you can see now on your screen that these guys have really settled out. You saw that Hicksonball got by Junso Lim, so that moves Lim back to 4th. As you got this long line of cars all the way back from Bryce Reiner, and Junso Lim rather, all the way back until Kluot there on your screen. A huge group of cars, one mistake, one bobble, and it could all end badly. 71 goes down to the bottom, trying to make a move on Reiner.
Bryce Reiner, he's been able to put together some good results so far here this season. I would say he's probably the best of the rest of the drivers here in this campaign outside of your big 3 of Benefiel, Hicksonball, and Joseph McWhorter, your reigning champion. That 5 has been super duper quick. I also like that paint scheme there. The blue, the light blue, the dark blue, and
they're wrecking on the front straightaway. Tanner Marty's around, and Michael Mesnard in the 35 also around on the front straightaway. Caution's going to be coming out. Most likely. Let's take a look and see what happened to these two on the front straightaway. Huge accident here between those two. The 29 of Tanner Marty. Wesley Napier got in a wall. Oh, yeah. You can see it there, 29. Oh, huge hit from Michael Mesnard and Tanner Marty. Both cars having really rough seasons this year. But you'll see Wesley Napier in the 95 on the top. He's going to get really tight after passing the 48. And that car's pushing. He's not going to make the corner. He hits the outside wall, comes down into Tanner's right side door, and there's not much he can do about it. Both cars go for a spin. 35, wrong spot, wrong time. But the real mistake came out of Wesley Napier's 95 this week, unfortunately. Hit the outside wall, contact, and that is what brings out our first caution for incident today here in the middle of stage 2.
You know, it's not the worst T-bone that I've seen at Dover this week, but it's definitely pretty bad as they headed their way down the start-finish right away. Nothing he could have done, peeking their way through the smoke and the dust and the chaos right in front of you. There's pretty much just a half a second to try and see that car, respond in time, and avoid it. That just is not enough time. Unless you have the reflexes of a ninja or the luck of RN Jesus on your side, it's never going to work.
Well, again, our first caution for incident today as the cars now decide split decisions. Some cars come down pit road, some cars stay out on the racetrack. Multiple cars, though, staying out on the racetrack probably is the right idea for the time being. And you know what? I think now would probably be a good time to see if we can't see how our good friend Nick Roman is doing down there in the chat booth. We'll see if we can't find him here. Roman, let's see if he's willing to chat with us. We'll move him up. He's coming from Ace Moneymaker. Let's see. Nicholas Roman, Kirk Mills in the booth. You got a copy?
Hello?
Yeah, hey, this is Kirk up here in the booth. You got a copy, pal?
I copy.
Hey, man, you've been leading this race by a lot. Waited your time in the first stage. How's the car feel in this caution run?
You know, that first stage race in Junsa, we were a tad bit too tight. That's why it kind of took a little longer to make the pass than what it should have been. But we made a little adjustment here this last pit stop, loosen up just a tick. So hopefully we got the right stuff in there to keep this, communist Andrew Dyson guy out of the lead, so America can gain a victory.
All right, man. Just for that, of course, we always got to remember one thing. I always bring out the eagle whenever anyone mentions America, so thank you for
America,
that.
brother. Hell yeah.
That's right. Hell yeah. All right, brother. We'll go ahead and send you back over to Ace Moneymaker. Wish you the best of luck for the rest of the run.
Thank you, brother.
Yep, you got it. Big Roman. What a character. I like him. Straight up. Yeah, but remember, Dyson's a great guy, too. You got to admit. But most of these guys in here are pretty dang nice, fun to race against. And just, all around great guys. So if you ever want to come down and try it out, Friday Night Lights, it's a hell of a place to start. Just look for the Full Length Cup Challenge Discord and come on down and try and see if you're cracked up to be able to be a part of it. It's a lot of fun. It really is. As we're heading down the back straightaway, getting ready to get this thing back underway, we're going to be getting a restart on lap 61. 61. So we got a ways to go before the end of stage number 2. But once we get there, things will change yet again. Here we go. Through turns 3 and 4, you're going to see that restart look very similar to what it did before. Just make sure no mistakes. A little bit older tires on this restart. Hang on to that. Roman goes through that green restart zone, hits the jump, and he is back underway.
Looking right behind, it's still formation flying. Lots of racers run side by side. That was Dyson and Hicksonball squabbling up, still side by side behind Benefiel, looking to jump his way up into the top 4. Adam Benefiel, after starting down in 20th, that was so uncharacteristic from him. At first, I didn't even think that he was in the race, but it's been a night of struggle so far here, but he's been able to make his way up through in this race. Look where he's running right now, feeling no pressure from behind, as right now the only drivers behind him of Bryce Reiner and Jacob Simpson, they're caught up in each other's mess instead of trying to get involved with Benefiel.
Yeah, when you look at that order there on the grid, the biggest surprise to me is Bryce Reiner actually currently running in P6. He started in 26, 6 spots further back than Benefiel, and he's already made his way up to 6th. A lot of cars. Also, Jacob Simpson started towards the back, also went up through the field and got up to 7th. So a lot of cars that started in the back are now starting to show their heads up here at the front of the field. As now you got a little side-by-side battle with Winslow back there. And is that Amaro, I think? 32, side-by-side for position.
Yeah, so Aiden Amaro, who's been a driver that I've been keeping my eyes on over the past couple of weeks, currently trying to break his way inside of the top 10. We'll have to try and close up the gap a bit between himself and Eric Wineland, another driver who I think would be delighted to leave this race with the top 10. We think about last season, had a fantastic run, in the playoffs, and was actually able to grab the win in the opening playoff race at Bristol. Now, Bristol and Dover, not exactly the most similar tracks in the world, but there are some similarities, primarily in that concrete surface that we're driving on. So keep an eye on that 21 car. I think he's going to be quick.
One of my favorite statements of that is because I'm a big Bristol fan, but Dover, yeah, it is what it is. I always like to say that if you compare concrete to concrete, then hell, my local Walmart parking lot might be just the thing for you, folks. That's it. Side by side now for position between Junsa Lim and Adam Benefiel, though, up here. Looks like for the 4th place spot, again under fire. This time he's going to the top, and it looks like not going to work that time. Benefiel has to tuck back into the behind and wait for another chance to strike.
See, I said that knowing fully well that comparing Bristol and Dover, because they're both concrete surfaces, is kind of like comparing the sport of curling and the sport of bowling, because they involve throwing some kind of material that's very heavy down a slippery material, either made of ice or wood. That's pretty much what it is.
I'm going to break. I swear. It's so funny. All right. Now, here's the deal. Let's go ahead and start for a second and look at the strategies that folks can pull. I think we're going to go green to the end of this stage. As the 83 makes another move to the bottom, he's going to be there on the bottom in 3 and 4. But remember that 67 has been running a diamond line carrying a lot more momentum through this corner than other cars. Not going to help him out this time. It looks like that 83's just got a lot of speed in that car. So much faster. And I think that Benefield's going to get on by, move up to 4th place without a doubt. Easy peasy. As now they try to chase down the leaders.
And so things spreading out at the moment, at least up at the front. Vroman checking out. Dyson partially checked out from Hicksonball. He's in the middle of checking out right now. He's still dealing with the receptionist, trying to give her the key to the room right now. But if Dyson can pull away, then Bryson Hicksonball is going to have a real tough time on his hands. Because you think about your top 3 in the points, the likes of Joseph McWhorter, Adam Benefield, and Bryson Hicksonball. They haven't really, battled that much on the road. They've usually just been, up towards the front, getting their own little spots. It's odd just seeing them kind of, be the championship front runners, obviously, but we haven't really seen them get involved in their own little battles just of themselves. At least it's not that common of occurrence.
No, it is not. Well, with this single file line you got right here, I mean, the biggest concern could be a stack up. You always got to be careful of that. That could happen at any given point, especially with the way these guys drive. You never know. See back here in the back, got 2 cars making great pace trying to recover his lost ground. Remember, he was up in the top 5 for the beginning part of this race. Had a penalty on his pit road entry at the start of stage number 2. And because of that, he had to go to the back of the field. So he is now making his way back through, all the way up now to 16th, trying to get to the top 15.
And speaking of inside the top 15, here's the battle inside of it. Aiden Amaro and Casey Graves heading through turn 1 and 2 side by side, and all through 3 and 4 side by side as well. Graves going to punch back into 12th. Amaro ran super deep into the turn. He's going to drop down at the lucky spot P13. That battle with Matthew Boston Wheeler, Seth Foudy, and Ryan Von Henschel still right behind, though. Von Henschel able to make up some ground as 3 wide racing all through turn number 2. You got to be kidding me.
Yeah, absolutely. That car just went straight up. That was an awesome pass right there. You can see Matthew Boston Wheeler there. Amaro had to back out. What a move for the 10 car, hanging on to the car in the center. Matthew Boston Wheeler running P13 right now. Definitely improving since the last time I saw him. Happy to see that 10 car running really well. Seth Foudy there in the 77, always a possible underdog. Sitting there right now behind him as well. And Von Henschel, remember that 2 car we were talking about? He's already cracked past the top 10, 15. Now moving towards trying to pass these guys.
And so pushing lap 76 here in this race and bringing it in with battling all throughout the pack. This is for the final 2 spots inside the top 10. Blake Kluot, Eric Wineland were briefly side by side through 1 and 2, but they single filed out, heading their way down the back straightaway. This second stage, I always feel like at these for lack of a better term, normal racetracks like here at Dover or just any of the intermediates that we run, it's pretty much just the time where everybody, for lack of a better term, relaxes, takes it easy, decides, I'm just going to whittle the laps away, get to the end of stage 2, then come time for that final stage, I'm really going to turn up the wick a lot. At the moment, these drivers just settled down, relaxing. I'm not sure if they have their feet kicked up on the couch, reading a book or something like that, but they're not just throwing bare-knuckle fists at each other every single time the opportunity sees fit.
It's one of those races that just take a lot of grit to be able to finish well. That's the truth of the matter here at Dover. And one thing I want to bring up before we get towards the end of this stage is exactly when that stage ends. Oh, I may be lagging here. I'm back. Let's see if that fixes the problem there. You can see right here, side-by-side battle. This is for the 5th place spot. Junsa Lim and the 5-car Bryce Reiner. He's on that quarter panel. Got to be careful there, bud. You don't got much room for error right there.
As I thought they're nearly going to end in disaster through 3 and 4. Got so close to making contact. We've had a pretty good streak so far here in this race, Kirk. I don't want to jinx it, but these drivers have been very, very civil.
Well, they got to get to lap 90 before the end of the next caution. At least the next planned caution. You can see on your screen right there, we're hitting into lap number 81 when they cross the stripe this time by. Leader has a 1.5 gap over the rest of the field, absolutely destroying the rest of the field. And Junsa Lim has vanished from existence. Where on earth has he gone? What?
It's those aliens. They're coming back. He's back. Oh, he's inside of the 22 of Jacob Simpson. I'm not sure if iRacing will. I'm not even sure if YouTube will allow that. That may have been a TOS violation.
Nah, it's fine. It's fine. He just had a.
It's medical. It's medical.
Oh, I don't know about that. All right. Oh my goodness gracious. Some of the things you hear on this thing is just kind of wild. All right. But yeah, he's back, but he's not in the position he was in. He's back now to 7th. He dropped back quite a bit. Not quite back in a good position. As there's kind of a gaggle of cars coming off turn 4 right now. That could be Casey Graves back there leading them. It's kind of this huge gaggle of cars. Let's see if we can't grab that real quick. It's kind of chaotic. And the thing is ever since that 67 dropped off, he's now kind of stuck. But you can see this gaggle of cars. This is what I was talking about. They're kind of all over the place, guys. This is Cliff Mullins. Oh, hang on to it. The 2-car Von Hinchel, Matthew Boston Wheeler. This is all right around that 14th place spot.
And I'll be honest, I do not have a good feeling about that pack. Look at how close they are to one another. It's side-by-side racing, formation flying, really, and drivers just about as nervous as a cat in a room full of rocking chairs every single time they go around this racetrack. So that 2 there in the midst of it, trying to make up some ground after that EOL bit earlier on, a side-by-side for 3rd. This is Bryson Ixtmal and Adam Benefiel, your 2 top runners from the 2025 season here in Friday Night Lights. Once again, your championship contenders early on here in 26. Here they go side-by-side through turn number 4. Looks like Ixtmal will have the upper hand for now.
This is a very important battle, an extra bonus point. These are the top 2 in the point standings right now, actually, up here. You can see that Benefiel and Hixenball still going to make another move into turn 3 and 4. Benefiel's got the points lead. He'd like to make it a little bit bigger. He's just got to be able to get by that 63. Here we go. 3-car battle for this 3rd place spot. Pretty big deal as we're coming. Oh, contact. There goes the 83, saving the race car. Holy cow. What a save.
You can tell that was a close quarters moment because it sounded like a sad old cold toilet seat. Let's take a look at this replay here as the field headed their way off through 3 and 4. There it was. It was 2 touches there. First from the 5, just pushing him a bit into the 63, and then that contact with the 63 nearly sent him around. That was a 1-2 punch. It's a split second apart. That 1-2 punch nearly just ended his night in the blink of an eye.
Yeah, speaking of ending the night, we got to be careful right here because side-by-side between Bryce Reiner and Hixenball, this is 4th position. Remember, top 2 guys are pretty dang comfortable in their position. Dyson and Vroman don't need to worry about it, but this is the battle for 3rd place. Reiner might be able to get the job done that time as we got 2 laps to go in the stage. Battle is on for 3rd. Inside, Bryce Reiner in the 5. Outside, Bryson Hixenball in the 63. And it looks like Reiner is going to be able to make that pass work this time by, as now they coming up on some lap traffic of Tanner Marty in the 29, who was involved in that incident right at the start of the stage. As we got 1 more lap to go in the stage, you can see the 3rd place spot is now pretty much set in stone. But going up to Vroman and Dyson, these 2 have just dominated the entire run, the entire stage. And this time, Vroman heading down and back into turns 3 and 4 for the final time for stage number 2. They got a little bit of contact back there in the back of the field. It's that Kluot making some moves. Holy cow, all over the place for the top 10 spot. Vroman wins it, but 3 wide off the corner. Who's it going to be? It looks like at the line, It will be Junsa Lim. No, Wineland. It may be one or the other getting that final spot. We'll take a look at the results. It was Junsa Lim barely hanging on to the 10th place spot. These are your results for stage number 2.
Look at that gap between Jesse Winslow in 9th and Junsa Lim in 10th. We'll run through the rest of the top 10. Nicholas Vroman gets the stage win. Andrew Dyson 2nd. Bryce Reiner in 3rd. Bryson Hixenball in 4th. Adam Benefiel in P5. Jacob Simpson 6th. Blake Kluot in 7th. Hunter Schroll in 8th. And 1/1000th of a second between the final 2 drivers inside of the top 10. That is like a gap no larger than a mosquito's mustache.
Well, folks, we're going to go ahead and have these cars come down pit road. No doubt they'll take 4 tires and gas, and we'll let you know of any penalties. If they happen, we're going to go ahead and take our final break for the day, and we're going to see you back on the round the bend. Racing here from Dover, Roller Coaster 200 on Maconi Entertainment will return shortly. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, again to the Roller Coaster 200 here live for the Friday Night Lights series on Maconi Entertainment. About to get started with the final stage of the evening. Guess what? Vroman in that pink car won the first one. He won the second one, and now he's trying to do a three-peat and win the whole dang thing. Got a chance to do it. He has a great shot to do it, as it looks like we're about to get this restart underway. Pace car dives into the pit road. And again, my name is Kirk Mills alongside Ron Mounts. And of course, we have Howie Burrows in the booth, ready to bring the action for the final stage here, back underway. Oh, hard contact in the back of the field. You see the 2-car Von Henschel hit the outside wall, and the 10-car Boston Wheeler hit the outside wall. They keep it straight. And we're back underway, still going, finishing out lap 1. 105 laps to go left in this stage.
You know, there's been less visitors to the outside safer barrier here in this race than there have been visitors to Dover, Delaware itself.
Ooh.
Although I say that, bit of wall contact there farther behind. Heading out of turn number 2, those wall taps are starting to be more and more of a common occurrence here, Kirk. I think as these drivers are getting more comfortable, they're starting to push those limits a bit more, and sometimes they're stepping over the edge.
That's an accurate statement. Yeah, I'd agree with that. You got to be very careful, though, to make sure you keep your car in line. Oh, man, that exit at turn number 2 is so treacherous. It's just a bump there, and one bad bobble, and you are around. Easy peasy, just like that. One car running the very high line there that time by. I'm quite sure who that was. It looked like that may have been Winslow, perhaps.
Jesse Winslow finds himself on the high side right now. Just got a move put on him by Seth Foudy, and now feeling some pressure from Ryan Von Henschel in the 2 car. Has been composed driving from that driver, the number 2. Was worried when he got that EOL a bit earlier on that when he found himself in the middle of that hornet's nest towards the end of that second stage, that drama was going to befall him. But currently holding on to a good spot right now. Just needs to get a good string of results, even if it is just a checkered flag. You know, it doesn't need to be that top 10 yet. You just need to see that checkered flag, period.
Single filed out for the entirety of the top 15 all the way back, and maybe even throughout the whole field. It looks like everybody single filed that time for the first time today. Haven't seen anybody get that single file all day long. Maybe choose different lines in the corners, but everybody single file. As we got 100 laps to go, a long way to go. Maybe some fuel save might be in mind, maybe some tire save, but this is the stage where it will all come to fruition. It's all about making sure you come down at the right time with the right people, have a good shot with the right strategy to be able to win the race. You got 100 laps to try and figure out the best way to do it. Ron, what do you think the best method is to be able to actually get to the end of this thing while keeping the car underneath you? When do you pit? What do you pit for? Tell me the answers to the universe, my man.
Double and give it to the next person.
Double and give it to the next person.
See, I'm going to say, honestly, as we get towards the end of this race, I don't like to be the one to bring about sort of bad events and incidents. I don't want to be the harbinger of doom here in this series, but I feel like we've had such a clean drive that I'm waiting for the other shoe to drop. Now, usually whenever I wait for that other shoe to drop, it likely lands on top of my head, but I feel like we're going to have a little bit more chaos as things roll along. These drivers are going to apply that pressure more and more. This final stage is always the one where they have to push the tires more and more as well. So I am going to say that just try and hold out for a yellow. That'd be my personal bet, but again, if I were a betting man, I probably wouldn't even have socks.
One thing I think that's important for us to be able to mention here is that the longer this race goes, the worse the tires are going to wear. And if we stay green, folks are going to need to come down pit road. That was the question. I need to find out when we're going to come down pit road. I'm thinking we could make it 45 laps under a green flag running condition. Now, a lot of folks tend to like to split things right down the middle. 50 laps to go probably comes to mind. If you do that math right, if you got enough gas in the tank to make it 45, you probably have enough to make it a lap 50. So with that in mind, I think that the time that you're going to start seeing these guys come down is going to be here in about 45 laps, here around lap 50 to go, maybe down to 45 to go in that range. Some folks might hold over a little longer, but I think that's what we're going to see if we stay green. Like you said, there's chances chaos can happen, but I don't see that happening right now. I'm seeing a lot of cars staying clumped together. Look out. Oh, look out. There they go. The 10 cars are around. Of course he is. There we go. 48 also hitting the inside wall. Caution's going to come out. And this still is going to be a wild start to this race.
Yeah, we're going to take a look to see what happened. It was Hunter Trull that found himself in that wall there. Actually, 56 there. That's Noah Woods. Yeah, pardon me. So that's Noah Woods there in the 56 car that bounced up into the wall. My apologies there. But the 10 just kind of caught up in the crossfire. It is Dover, so that's not too uncommon of an occurrence to get caught up in the crossfire. There's a 48 there. Nothing really he can do there. Makes wall contact there at the inside. Slides to a halt. This track is a self-cleaning one, and you saw that go on full display right there.
Yeah, that slight contact's all it takes. And it wasn't the 48's fault. He got rear-ended there from Amaro, and that just sent him right down to the inside wall. I don't think Amaro saw the wreck happening in time. So that was, again, another caution. So we got some folks pulling some strategy. You got Benefield and Hicksonball coming down pit road. Different than everybody else. Noah Woods coming down from his damage, and most others will do the same. This is probably a very smart move, because we've seen it already. If you got the lead, it is so hard to get it back. For the first stage, it was very difficult for anyone to get around the Junsa Lim vehicle. And once they finally did, nobody could pass Roman. Roman was impossible to pass. Nobody could even catch up to him. So I think this method of coming down pit road, topping off on gas, is probably going to be a benefit to these guys. It wasn't 4 tires and gas. It was just, I think, a straight up top off was all it was. And that's going to give them a little bit further distance they can go. And maybe they could try and stretch it all the way. I don't think they can make it a full 93 laps. But if they get enough cautions, maybe it'd be possible.
Hey, I've seen stranger things. I'm not even talking about the show on Netflix. That'll be an interesting call to see here. It's okay, Howie. I speak in tongues throughout most of these broadcasts, so it's all right. We all have our moments, but yeah, it will be fascinating to see how the strategy develops as we get along here. Because if that incident there is anything to go by, and that wasn't a matter of somebody just flat out a lot of different circumstances surrounding that incident, but that was just hard racing boiling over. That wasn't something egregious or something where you can really pinpoint one exact thing that went down. That was just really hard racing ending in disaster as drivers were putting each other in some pretty bad situations. So as this goes along, if we get into a green yellow cycle, those drivers will be able to do some fantastic fuel saving. Now, I don't think they're going to have as good of fuel mileage as you would expect in a Toyota Prius, but I think they're still going to be doing pretty all right for themselves.
Well, you can see they're doubled up now, getting ready for the restart. That kind of shakes up the top 10. Again, let's go through them. Vroman being in the lead for a while. Dyson's been trying to catch back up to him. Reiner moves up to 3rd place. Jacob Simpson moves up to 4th. Hunter Truhl sitting P5. 6th place will be Casey Graves. Ryan Von Hinchel, his recovery path has been made a lot easier since that pit road entry for those for the 2nd and 3rd place runners. And it looks like now Seth Foudy, Aiden Amaro, and Jesse Winslow going to be your top 10 restarters. The rest of the field on your left side of your screen. Happy to have you with us again, folks. Thanks so much for tuning in on Maconi Entertainment. About to get this thing back underway. 91 laps to go here in the Roller Coaster 200. We are back underway. Side by side for the lead for the first time. Dyson actually carried the momentum on the top. He's going to have a shot. Through turns 3 and 4. Dyson's trying everything.
Yeah, throwing anything at the wall and seeing what sticks right now. He's throwing ham sandwiches at it. If that sticks, you probably shouldn't eat it. Vroman jumping up into that race lead there. This has been a fantastic battle for the top spot all throughout as Dyson now cutting down to the inside.
Under-over move for Dyson. He's going to try the inside line. It's going to work out for him. He's going to have the momentum on the exit of turn number 4. And guess what, folks? New leader. But guess what? Another under-over move. Here comes Vroman back down to the bottom. Still side by side for this lead. They just won't want to quit. Nobody's scooting out to a big lead this time. Staying side by side this time. Dyson's got to run on the outside. He might have a shot here into turn 3. He does. He's going to pull down in front. Dyson, new leader here from Dover in that 41 machine.
And so Andrew Dyson, who, as I said a bit earlier on in this show, has never started one of these Friday Night Lights Series races at Dover, according to the statistics that we have on hand. That would be a fantastic debut. Hey, he'd be batting 1,000 if he could see it through to the end. We still have 88 laps, 88 miles left to go here. Make that 87 as he heads his way across the stripe. And Vroman looking to fight back down the inside to 1 and 2. They're going to be side by side on the backstretch.
Yep, not at all done. I didn't think this was going to be over by a long shot. 41 got himself one heck of a restart, got the job done on the top side after some battling. But now that 8 car, he saw it happen, and he's got to get that spot back. Remember what we saw at the beginning of the first stage. He was sitting P2 for the longest time behind Junson Lim, and once he had the opportunity to make that pass, he sure did. So I think Roman now is going to get back into that mindset. Wait for the right time to get on by him. But he's not going to let him get away by any stretch of the imagination.
Oh yeah, not at all. What you've got to do at this point of this final stage, if this does run, and a big emphasis on if this does run green through to the fall of the checkered flag, you can't bleed off time. You've just got to keep your competitors within an arm's reach, even within sight, and you'll be golden. As right now, Roman trying to dive back down the inside, off through 3 and 4. Got some lap traffic farther up the road. That'll complicate things in a few laps, and that's the reason why Roman is trying to get this move done.
That's going to open the door again, side by side for the lead and for third place behind this. I can tell you right now that 41's trying everything he can to hang on to it. He hit the wall a little bit that time, trying to get every inch he can get. Asked for a little too much that time. Looks like now out of turn number 4, Roman's got to carry the speed. Not really, he had to lift. And that's going to keep 41 up towards the front, and Reiner running P3. Whoa, hang on to it. Reiner got a little bit of a bump from the 22. This battle for third's really heating up. These guys are right on the door. The 22 gave him a shot in the left rear quarter panel a little bit ago. Luckily saved the car. But it's really tight racing right here for the third place on back as the battle for the lead heats up again. You can see Roman moving up to the inside again. It's just chaos up here at the front of the field.
Yeah, I gotta feel bad for Howie and the production truck having to bounce around from one camera angle to another like a Mexican jumping bean. We got a battle for the race lead, battle for third, battles all throughout the field, and that battle for third nearly got ugly there between Reiner and Simpson. You hit the nail right on the head there, Kirk. Seeing those drivers start to battle, it was getting very, very physical. One small little mistake, and that was going to blow up there. So they have now single filed out, but they have that lap traffic that they have to worry about right up in front. I believe that is the 10 of Matthew Boston Wheeler that they're going to have to deal with. The 41 on the high side. The 8 going to try and make something work here. This guy got real fascinating.
Yep, dirty air's not going to help the 41 at all anymore. 10 car gets up out of the way. Oh, there you go. He had a little bit of a moment there. Roman tried to get to the bottom. He got cut off there. Not able to do it. And now third place is closed in on this battle because both of them had to check up to avoid the lap car.
And so thankfully they were able to get the lap traffic dealt with without any further incident. I was going to say, if they went 3 wide through 1 and 2, I'm not sure if my vocal cords would have been able to handle it. They keep it tidy though, and now it's a 3-car breakaway kind of at the front of this field. Bryce Reiner has been able to reel in that gap. Jacob Simpson still there within an arm's reach, but he's not there, if that makes sense. Your top 5, though, kind of the main wedge drawn in this field is between Hunter Troll in that 5th place spot and Casey Graves in the 01, currently holding on to 6th. About a half a second margin between that pack is now Seth Foudy trying to get past Graves and does so.
Oh my gosh, 5 just hit the wall a little bit there. It's not going to help his run at all, but you can see there, this top group right now is just starting to get real clumped up together. 5 cars all underneath the blanket right there. 5 car got to the outside for second place. He's going to be able to try and make that pass for second. Bryce Reiner on the top side, trying to chase down a teammate there in Dyson. He's going to carry the momentum, and he's going to make that pass work on the outside of Roman. Got the pass up to second now, trying to chase down a leader.
Yeah, no, that 5 machine has been so stormingly quick at so many occasions throughout this season that we're waiting for him to finally break through into victory lane. It's been a fantastic run so far here in this race. Let's see if Dover is the time to do it. As you can see, once again, bit of wall contact.
5 cars quick. I mean, you can see it from a distance. Him and the 22 of Jacob Simpson. Both cars are fast. I don't think there's that slower than the leader here. I think they might be quicker than the leader, to be honest with you. But that 5 car will get there first. 5 cars already there. Roman is falling off a cliff. Something happened to that 8 car where he's now gotten passed by 2, now almost 3 cars, falling back from second all the way back almost to 5th. Got a ways to go to make that happen, but the 5 car up here in second place, he just carries momentum on that outside better than anyone I've seen all day long. Watch this in turn number 1 and 2. He likes to run a little higher than the other cars, but the 41 saw that, came up and blocked the air for that car, made sure he wasn't going to be able to use that line that's been helping him get by all these cars, and it worked out for him in turns 1 and 2. But 3 and 4, you can see a different line choice, and that 5 is going to start getting a huge run on the straightaway.
Yeah, so as all the battles start to heat up towards the front, including this one once more between Seth Foudy and Hunter Truex. Foudy on the charge in that 77 machine. Keep an eye on him. He may give some trouble to Nicholas Roman here soon. Gotta wonder exactly what the deal is for that 8 machine. We saw that he was, running good, feeling relaxed. As I said a bit earlier on, the lactic acids were flowing. He was feeling good about his chances, and then something snapped. Something just snapped big time. I'm not sure whether the tires were made out of paper mache and he's starting to drop down, whether the car is filled with milk. I don't know what the deal is, but either way, doesn't matter what the equation is, the sum is still the same. That 8 car is starting to drop down. Now, the one thing that is saving him currently is the fact that Seth Foudy and Hunter Truex are still caught up in each other's hair right now. They're putting gum in their hair, and they're not really able to see anything else going on around them. They're holding on 5th and 6th at the moment, as they may get thrown a lifeline, as now Vroman trying to apply some pressure to Simpson right up in front.
So it looks like that we had a correspondent, our producer, go down and speak with a couple of the drivers down in the chats. And it looks like that we have now confirmed that both Bryson Hixenbaugh and Adam Benefield, both drivers, are good to the finish. They are fuel saving, but they are good to the finish. They're not running at full bore, but they will be able to make it to the finish. So while everyone else will have to come down and get some fuel, if this stays green, they will not, and they will inherit the lead and possibly battle each other for the win. You can see right here, though, a lot of this lap traffic, the 5 car all over the back bumper there. Roman trying to recover from his deal. And now the top 2 are side by side as the 5 car dives it down deep to the inside, trying to make a pass for the lead. Bryce Reiner, first time trying to make a pass for the lead today. Oh, contact! Hey. What a save! You don't save cars like that at Dover every day. You get door slammed like that, normally you're inside wall, you're just going to kiss it real hard. This time, not going to happen. Let's take a look. You see on board with Roman. Watch that wheel. He's going to get hit in the right side. He's going to go straight towards the wall. Bang! Turn right. Kept it straight without spinning it out up the hill. Great job for the 8 car.
And so there's still a little bit of give in that 8 machine. We thought that he had given everything, but clearly he's still got a little bit of something to work with. Tanner Marty down in pit lane. To Seth Foudy has just jumped his way up into 3rd. And oh my goodness me, another sideways snap from Roman.
Yeah, no, not just that. Dyson and Reiner. Dyson and Reiner had another contact there. Now they're going to be side by side again. They're even for the lead. 5 just got cut off again. Seth Foudy also came out of nowhere in the 77 machine. He's up to 3rd place. That 77 car's fast. 5's on the bottom. He's going to use the bumper. Be careful with that. They're teammates. Down the back straightaway, still side by side. He's trying everything he can to get by Dyson.
Yeah, again, throwing everything at the wall and seeing what sticks. This 5 just sensing an opportunity. We talked about the campaign and the season that Bryce Reiner has had through to this point here.
Sorry, he put the bumper on the back of the 41 going into turn 1 that time. He gave him a shot, sent the 41 up high, but that actually pushed him out further.
Yeah, so worked out in the case of Dyson. Just to recap on the point, Reiner, your 4th place runner in the championship, heading off into this race. Actually, no, he was actually slipped down to 6th, pardon me, but still pretty far up there. It's been a good season for him. Just looks to try and break through with that win, sensing an opportunity here, but things will have to go slightly awry for 2 of the drivers we have in camera shot right now. Your 11th and 13th place runners of Bryson Hixenbaugh and Adam Benefield. They're doing fuel saving, still cutting their way through the running order. It's hard to bet against these 2 any single week. I said the 63 was catching my eye before we got the green, and clearly putting that on full display with 63 to go. It looks like he and the 83 are the ones to beat.
You're also looking at that 44 machine we haven't talked about much. Cliff Mullins running right behind him. He just got passed, but the thing is that Cliff Mullins machine getting into a top 15 is just a good day all around for that car. Happy to see it happen as Von Hinchel now getting under fire from those 2 cars. He's fallen back another 2 spots. But back up towards the front, the biggest thing I can see is that the cars have separated for the top 2 by just ever so slightly. Like about a car length, not much. Half a car length in that range. And if that 5 car, the 77 even, who's now joined this conversation, Seth Foudy, is on the move. He's quick. He's going to be there. That 77's on the move. He's trying everything he can to get there.
Yeah, that 77 can call him Rick Mears. He has turned into a rocket as of recent. He's been super duper quick, peaking at the right time, and clearly working out well. Was able to get some stormers of overtakes done. We first started talking about him when he got him moved on Casey Graves, then he got him moved on Truel, then Vroman, then Simpson, and now looking for P2 on Bryce Reiner, adding it to turn number 1 and 2, and he jumps it to second.
What a run. He's going to get this lead if he's able to keep that momentum up. He's going to be right on the back bumper. Dyson might see this battle incoming. He might have just hit the jets, try to get away. Real tight here on the exit of the corner. 5's got to carry as much momentum as he can. 77's trying to use the outside line. The longer way around doesn't always work, but it definitely gives you more momentum. Not this time. 5 gets the spot right back.
And now looking at some more side-by-side racing here as Adam Benefiel just following his old foe, shall we say, of Bryson Extenball. Those two have a friendly rivalry here in this series. Friendly rivalry? I think that was what my brain was trying to say there, but a friendly rivalry between those two. Adam Benefiel always talking a little bit of smack about Bryson Extenball at the end of these shows whenever we get the opportunity to interview them. They're always super quick, and you can just see those two kind of following each other. There's a mutual level of respect that is shown there. You know, that Adam Benefiel trusts Bryson Extenball, and that feeling is mutual. So those two really working together, pseudo teammates at the moment, cutting their way through.
You know who else has been recovering really well? Vroman. That fourth place spot has scooted back up to this little battle, this 4-car now. Battle. 5's closer than the 41 than ever. 77's trying to catch up to this as well. But I think that when the 77 got by the 5, who was saving a little bit, decided to turn on the jets, get by him again, and coast. I think that's what's happening. 5 might be waiting for the right time to go again. 41, though, all these guys, if they stay green, it's moot. You got to be able to stay. They're hoping for a caution or something to happen to be able to benefit them. The only drivers who are not on that strategy is anyone that came down under that last caution with 100 to go.
We're still keeping our eyes on your top two, Bryce Reiner and Andrew Dyson. Nose to tail still. They're not feeling any pressure from Seth Foudy at the moment, as Foudy is more worried about Nicholas Vroman, who just got a move put on him. So that's Foudy dropping down. I think that pace was really strong in that 77, but unfortunately it may be short-lived. He is starting to feel the adverse pain and starting to drop down. But as we get into the final 50 laps of this race here, Kirk, we do have to wonder about those pit stops. They got to be coming up here soon. And the pit stops are kind of like tax day. It always looms ominously over somebody.
Oh, there he goes. 5 showed a nose. He got down to the inside. They made a little contact with that 5-car. Bryce Reiner might have the lead here through turns 3 and 4. It looks like he does. New leader up front. Bryce Reiner finally got the job done. He will lead this lap with just 52 laps to go. And you're right, this is the time for pit stops. If it's going to happen at all, it's going to happen between now and the next 15 laps. But I think these cars are going to stay out long. They have to. At this point, you got to stay out all the way to the end of your run, because you got drivers like Benefiel, Hicksonball that are out there right now who are trying to make it on gas. They probably might make it on gas knowing how good their talent level is. And because of that, it might force your hand. You might want to come down either really, really early and try and chase them down, or you might come in really, really late and hope for a caution. Those are really your two decisions if these two make it on gas, which is can assume that they will.
You know, it's an intriguing play call that everybody is having to work with right now, but I am a fan of the strategy content that we're seeing here in this race. Vroman trying to get past Dyson, and it looks like he'll be able to do it comfortably. Heading off into turn number 1 and 2, Dyson not fighting that hard at all. 50 laps left to go here. Reiner's still your leader, And hey, if you're in the mood for some more Dover action, we got coming up tomorrow here on the channel on Maconi Entertainment when the full-length Cup Challenge heads to Dover for the All-Star race. That's going to be super duper fun. Got some more horsepower from everything that I heard. That is going to be quite the big wrench thrown in the works for these drivers. Hope they're a fan of being sketched out.
Yeah, it's going to be different for sure. I mean, All-Star race, I'm always a stickler for Charlotte. It should always be at Charlotte, but that's beside the point. We're going to Dover for that. Interesting choice. Hopefully it goes well. One thing I got to mention is a couple drivers that gotten their way into the top 10 that surprised me. Casey Graves in the 01, currently running P7. Great recovery today. That car, he did not necessarily start up towards the front. Casey Graves, he started P16. He's up to 7th now. You also got Seth Foudy, who started 27th. He was battling for 3rd just a couple laps ago, now running P4, 27th up to that 4th place spot. And Bryce Reiner himself started in P26. He's now leading this thing. Amazing runs for these guys today, these three, Foudy, Simpson, and Reiner. And also give some credit to Casey Graves getting to where he is. It's hard to get to a top 10 spot in this series.
And hard to get into that spot here at Dover as well. Talked about some of the pedigree with this track. Opened back in 1969. It's seen a plethora of racing, of course, from the stock car side of things. Horse racing events here as well. IndyCar ran here in 3 very brief outings, which IndyCars in Dover, that sounds like... it sounds like peanut butter and high-grade plastic explosives, trying to have that as your lunch, but, you know, that's just my opinion.
Ryan Von Henschel in the 2 car has he made contact with the 21 car, puts him up into the outside wall. He's not going to be happy about that 21 car, heavy right front damage. Not a caution yet, but let's keep an eye on it. Oh boy, let's see what happened here.
Now the 21 trying to clear himself, and the 2 just kind of holding his own there. That was 2 very stubborn maneuvers. That was pretty much what happens when unstoppable force meets an immovable object, as the 2 has now come down pit lane.
Yep, absolutely. Probably the best decision for him. I wouldn't have tried to attempt to pass after that contact. Absolutely not. That was back here for P13. I was about to say these 2 have recovered not too well from the start. Definitely did not help at all with that one. Now the 2 car has to... he's on pit road. He's going to be the first ones of those to come down that I've seen so far. More and more cars will choose to come down pit road the longer this run will go. But the door has just been opened. 65 laps on their current tires for Bryce Reiner and these guys. 50 laps so far for Benefiel and for Hicksonball. So that means they got to make it 93 laps, I believe, to get to the end of this thing.
You know, and I really feel bad about that incident between the 2 and the 21. That just about summarizes how their seasons have gone through to this point. It has been just, for lack of any better phrasing here, just miserable as an outing for them. I think they have the real strong opportunity to turn things around. Hey, still, we have a long way left to go here in this championship. We're only at, race 14 of 33 here in 2026. So they still have over half the season left to bounce back. But certainly when it comes to trying to make it into the chase a little bit later on this year, the opportunities are starting to run thin on the ground.
Casey Graves on your screen, he just got passed by Benefiel and from Hicksonball. So those 2 cars, no matter what happens, I think they'll be fine. They're running fast enough lap times, and this will be possibly, if we stay green, the battle for the win between these 2. And it looks like that's an absolute possibility. Bryce Reiner, Vroman, and Dyson still leading this thing, but they got to come down pit road. These 2 think they don't have to, so we'll see how it goes. More cars coming down pit road. You see Grodzicki and Hunsinger coming down pit road. Anybody else choose to do so? You see that 2 car, Von Henschel. Remember, he just came down. He's on fresh tires. He is going way faster than these guys. He's able to just blow right by him. Who knows? I think that pitting early might actually give you a shot here. Side by side for that spot, though, you can see Benefiel takes that spot away.
Yeah, and so with the pit stops coming around, these drivers now feeling that the time is right to start to battle. 70-lap-old tires, so it's like trying to dance in clown shoes. We see now Dyson trying to get that move done on Vroman. Will he be able to jump his way up in a second? He will. Vroman dropping down. The pace of that 8th car kind of been like a yo-yo. It's been going up and down, up and down, up and down like Otis Elevator all throughout this race. Hoping to end it off on a high note, but that 8th car has been about as hard to pin down as a donkey.
37 laps to go in this race. It's all about the finish now. Trying to get to the end. Long game for everybody. 71 laps on tires. Really, really long run for these guys. And Reiner has just done a great job keeping the car underneath them. And, I mean, it's just a matter of time before they have to come down pit road. But no cautions as of yet. And when they come down, I don't think that they're going to have a shot to be able to catch back up. The 2-car Von Hinchel, I think, is going to be in the best position because they got 36 laps to be able to try and use those fresh tires up and gain all that ground on those that are staying out long. I think 2 cars onto something here.
Yeah, it certainly also helped that he smacked the wall, kind of forced his hand into coming down pit lane, but he has turned that car into a rocket ship, getting some overtakes done. Again, this is for, just trying to get himself back on the lead lap here. That is not for position, but you just tell the pace gap between those drivers. Dover's not really known for being the best on the tires in the world here, and you can see that got put on full display. Ryan Von Henschel, even with that wall contact there, smacked the wall. Car's probably driving around like a trash bag full of mango pulp sliding down a flight of stairs, but it is still a heck of a lot quicker than these drivers on 70-lap-old tires. That is... Again, I said dancing around in clown shoes. That's pretty much what these drivers are forced to do on these old tires.
Roman's now under fire. Here you can see the 77 of Seth Foudy going to the outside of Dyson. This 3-car battle, again, is for position, but they all will need to come down pit road very shortly. So the positioning is going to be a big deal. You want to be in the right spot to go down pit road. You don't want to be behind these two when you come down. It'd be nice to get in front, so I'm guessing the 77's trying everything they can to get by. But once they can, maybe the pit road opens for them and they might have a shot. But I think this is really going to be a battle for third if we stay green. It'd be very surprising to see anyone come back around and, have a shot here. Based on what I'm seeing, Bill Holds coming down pit road, Michael Mesnard currently sitting in the pits. More cars choosing to come down pit road, I should say, is the main point I'm trying to get at.
As you can see, this is when we head off into the danger zone, when you've got cars that are so disgustingly quicker than the drivers on the old tires. That's when we get into the real sketchy moments. This is when the Code Brown moments happen. That's exactly what we have got going on right now. You can just see the pace differential between those cars looking to unlap themselves and your drivers right towards the front end of the field. Even through the turns, they are gaining tenths of seconds. It is an insane pace differential between, fresh out of the box tires and 78-lap old tires. That kind of goes without saying, but even there, you can just see it get put on such, screamingly full display. The spotlights are shining bright on the tire advantage that those drivers have as Bryce Reiner going to pull away and come down pit lane.
About time. It looks like that's going to be the mark. These guys got to come down. They absolutely have to. And the 2-car of Von Hinchel is going to be really the reference point here, depending on where Reiner comes out, of how far he has to catch to the 2-car. But they'll have 30 laps to try and make up 2 laps worth of track position. Trying to pull a Shane Van Gisbergen and make up so much ground in such little time, it's going to be hard. But I think it's what's going to make this race interesting if we stay green.
Yeah, well, we still have nearly 30 miles of racing action left, and those pit stops too. That is going to throw a huge wrench in the works. I gotta say, 80-lap-long stint here is absolutely insane. This is a battling for your race lead at the moment. Again, this will change once the drivers come down pit lane, but Roman able to get a nice move done there on Seth Foudy as Jacob Simpson has pulled down pit lane over the past couple of moments. Will we see anybody else come into the pits here as well? Expecting these top 3 to come down pit lane rather soon. You look at that tire disadvantage that they have, and that is disgusting. But I will say, I'm not saying that we counted the chickens before they hatched. However, in the case of Benefiel and Hicksonball, 66, now 67 laps into their stint, Gen Alpha is going to have a field day with that one. By the end of this race, they won't even have any tires left. They may be good on fuel, but they're going to be basically running around on the brake rotors.
Well, here's the deal, folks. Looking at the screen right now, those are the cars that are up front, but the real battle I think this is going to be is between Jacob Simpson. Sorry, let me try that again. Bryce Reiner and Von Hinchel. Von Hinchel is about to get passed by Reiner here very shortly. He's about maybe half a second back. You can see right there, there's Von Hinchel, and Reiner just got by. So that is it for that position. Now, because of that, Reiner is now going to be the leader of this plan, and he's got way fresher tires. And his main goal is going to be trying to unlap himself and catch the leaders in less than 24 laps. He cannot wait behind this traffic. Holy cow. 5 car right now. He's 3 wide trying to get through some lap traffic on the front straightaway.
This is rush hour traffic that he's having to cut through. This is insanity.
Yeah, this is going to be the main race here, guys. You can see another car coming up here. 41 car apparently has a tire blowout, so he's going to need to come down pit road.
Yeah, of course, iRacing does simulate that, so he has a meatball flag, and you can see him slowing there, heading into the pits. He's going to go nearly around. He nearly pulled off a Matt Kenseth.
Now he saved the car. Well done. Car control. Now this pit road entry is very difficult. Not the whole field may have practiced it too much. Didn't think it was going to be needed, but it looks like it might need. Amaro, Kluwat's come down. Amaro's actually gotten a penalty, so he's going to have to. Oh, look at that 77, sliding it in. Oh, I think he may have been speeding. He made it.
God bless the United States of America. He made it. Oh, and now Roman, the latest driver to blow a tire, we're hearing as well. So he's going to have to pull it down pit lane. This is sketchy. The pit entries here at Dover are so odd. So Benefiel going to take the race lead. There you can see it. Oh, another sideways snap there. Those drivers with the blown tires, either blown tires or just worn down to the canvas. It has been super sketchy. This will give the race lead to Benefiel and Hicksonball, but I don't think this is going to work out in their favor at all. 73 laps in their stint and 20 laps left to go. I'm doing the math, but the math ain't mathin'.
Well, I'm looking at it right now. Okay, the 5 car just got by the 83 for position. He's going to have fresh tires all the way to finish this out. 20 laps to go. Reiner's got to pass. He's got to be able to run faster than their lap time. So their lap times they've been running consistently between Benefiel and between Hicksonball is right at 25.5. So you can see 1.6. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. It's going to be enough. But remember, over the course of a run, it will continue to get harder and harder to catch. Now, this is where it's going to get fun. I love this strategy. Let's see if it works out for Benefiel or if it works out for the Reiner car. I mean, that would be amazing to see Reiner win a race, get the job done on this, man, or that'd be so cool. You can see he's got to pass all these lap cars, though, getting by on the outside, the inside, all over the racetrack, trying everything he can. You're on board with him now.
Holy cow, I just wanted to say this before he probably comes down pit lane with a blown tire. Wesley Napier is 90 laps into his stint. Are you kidding me? He's now come down pit lane. Yeah, the tires, they weren't even worn down to the canvas. They weren't even down to the brake rotors. He was down to the hubs around there. That was incredible. But we're still in the danger zone here. Reiner closing up that gap. Yeah, he's doing everything he needs to do. And even with the tire fall off, I think it will be enough because Benefiel and Hicksonball, it's not a matter of them having the pace to contend for the race lead because I don't believe they do. It's the pit stop. It will have to come down pit lane either with a tire blowout or otherwise. It's either going to be they pick up a meatball flag for a blown tire or they're just skating around this track so much that they're counter-steering more than they're actually turning left.
But you got to remember, the guys who blew tires were racing really, really hard at the beginning of the run. The difference between them and Bryson and Adam is Bryson and Adam knew that their plan was to save gas the entire time. They aren't using their tires as much. So because of that, They probably might not. There's a chance they will, but they might not blow a tire. It just depends. It's way too chaotic to predict right now, but you can see on your screen, the point is we have 15 laps to go, and they are gaining 1.4 seconds a lap. That is going to be the point that it has to stay the same. They cannot lose any more time. It's going to be so close at the front. It looks like, make sure I got this right, but it looks like Reiner is going to catch a couple cars on a different strategy right now, right here. You can see it on your screen. Reiner's got to catch these three very shortly. He's got to catch Wineland first, is the next guy on his list. He's about 2 seconds back. But once that happens, he will be 12 seconds back. Man, it's going to be so close. I can't tell you one way or the other. It might work, it might not.
And let's see what was on that lap. 1.2 seconds. He's still keeping pace. He's got to hold himself on this, though. He's got to keep it wide open. Got to keep it full throttle. He's got some cars that he has to overtake here, but they may start to drop down a bit. Now your top four are running on 80-lap-old tires, and here's Reiner. First got that move done on Wineland. He clears them at the end of that lap. He's now up into fourth. Has to worry about Noah Woods. Then he has a little breakaway between your second place and third place runner that will allow him to stretch out his legs. There you can see he still kept pace there with that side-by-side racing with himself and Wineland. 1.3 seconds closed up there in that lap. The worry is if in any of these encounters like that with Woods, I think he was able to get away with that rather smooth. If he loses out on time, he's going to have to do extra. He's going to have to do double duty to try and close up that gap again at the exact same pace. This is only going to grow even more. It may start to sink down for Reiner, but you got to consider as well, those top two are starting to slow again. They're going to be on 93-lap-old tires by the end of this race. That is the upper limit that we have seen here in this race. Highest we've seen is 90. 93, forget about it.
Yeah, I can tell you right now, I just looked at it. Looks like that, based on what I'm seeing, that 5 car will be there with 3 to 5 laps to go if he keeps the current pace. He's got to keep that same pace, though. And these guys do not have time to be riding around right now at all. I mean, Reiner, he's going to have a good shot to get there. It's just a matter of time. There's chaos all over the track. Stay in green right now. But the last thing that they want is, I think right now, for Benefield and Hicksonball, I think that they might even want a caution because then they'll be able to come down and get fresh tires. Not many people are on a lead lap right now. It might benefit them heavily. So, but look at that, 7 seconds on the board. And he's got 8 laps to go. As long as he gains about a second a lap, he'll be there in no time.
Yeah, so keeping our eye on that margin as your top two, they're feeling the pressure. Here come the meatballs. That's Eric Wineland. He's picked up a meatball flag, blown tire out there on the track. The driver, the number 21, who's a rear gunner of those cars, now has to come down pit lane. As much as Benefield and Hicksonball, I will admit they were saving fuel, but they were also having to cut their way through cars. We saw them getting moves done. They weren't just idly driving around this racetrack on a Friday night cruise. They were having to battle on their own right now. Will I say it was as hard as some drivers that were farther up the road from them? No, I'm not saying that, but they definitely were not battling. They definitely weren't taking it fully easy either. So that gap now to about 5.6 seconds. Things starting to change up at the front once more as Benefield and Hicksonball has been able to close up their own little gap. It was a couple of seconds between them not too long ago, teetering around a 1.5 second barrier. That's now been cut down to below a half as Benefield, he's got a meatball flag, and then there was only one. It's Hicksonball versus Reiner with 5 to go.
That's it, guys. I think that tells us exactly what we've been worried about. These tires cannot handle it. Cannot handle it. There's a strategy call. Doesn't look like it's going to work out unless Hicksonball has been extra careful to those tires. It could go off at any minute. 5 laps to go. He's just got to hang on for 5 laps.
Oh, and Benefield couldn't come into the pits.
Get there. Yeah, he had to come down pit road. Eventually, he's going to have to. But Hicksonball also... It looks like that, from what we're hearing from the producer, that he might be able to finish, but because of that, it looks like that he will have a blown tire, and that means Reiner will have the lead, folks. Reiner's done it. He's going to be able to do it without even needing to catch him. It's a matter of time.
Yeah, I mean, he's 3 seconds in front. Howie pointing out a very good point in the production truck. On iRacing, there's a certain grace period after you pick up a black flag or a meatball. If you don't come down pit lane to serve those before that, you're done for. You get disqualified. You get done. You get completely pulled out of the race. Hicksonball may be able to stay out here. If he stays out, that's his only hope. However, he's still got that number 5 car just approaching him at a rate of knots.
Yeah, 2 laps to go, man. We're coming down to the end of this thing. You can see it's the gap's closing, but Hicksonball still got the lead. I thought, did he blow a tire or did he not blow a tire? I was told that he was blowing a tire.
He did blow a tire.
So he did. So that tells us it's over. At that point, Reiner's got it. Yeah, oh, look out. 2-car Von Hinchel slow in front of him. Contact, white flag, 1 lap to go. It is over, but Reiner is going to still be able to win the race, but they're going to get a penalty because he has the meatball. Meatball's going to give him a 30-second penalty. It's going to hold him back. No way. Wait, hold on. This is going to get too chaotic. Coming across the line, Hicksonball is going to cross the line first. We're going to have to check after the race to see where everybody is, but the 5-car takes second across the line. We'll see what happens when it updates.
You know, there's sometimes here in the broadcast booth where I feel like the child in the middle of 2 parents arguing. That's basically what's been going on over the past couple of laps. We're going to try and unpack this. Yeah. Bryson Hicksonball was able to stay out as we got towards the end because iRacing does have that grace period. I don't even think these drivers know what the deal is there because Bryce Reiner coming around to give some congratulations there to Hicksonball. If it goes based off of that, he may have it. Now, I do remember some drivers actually getting disqualified for not serving a meatball flag, but that was after the grace period was done. I believe the grace period may be a little bit longer for meatball flags than it is for penalties. Obviously, a rules violation would be a bit more heavily clamped on than just damaging your car. But either way, based off how it comes around, Bryson Hicksonball is your winner. And we saw there from Benefield, I mean, he got that blown tire a lap beforehand, and he had to come down pit lane. He had to come down pit lane because he knew that he couldn't make it. That was very smart, very clever from Hicksonball. He knew the rules. Gotta say, the one man who's going to be the most upset about it all is your 5 of Bryce Reiner, who, with all things considered, again, if that had happened 1 lap earlier, even a couple of 100 feet earlier, because it happened for Hicksonball heading into turn number 1, that would have been his win. All conventional wisdom would say that would be his win. iRacing doesn't simulate the blown tire itself. It actually simulates a meatball flag being issued out when it thinks that you've worn your tires out too much. But either way, Hicksonball looks like he's been able to get the job done and score the victory here at Dover in the most bewildering of circumstances.
I'll tell you what, I have never been more surprised by a system in my life. When you get that meatball flag, I always thought that you're done. Not this case. He was able to do it. And this time, he's able to actually pull into Dover area. Apparently, he's sitting in victory lane right there. But that 63 got the job done. And we're going to take a look at our finishing results, and then we'll go ahead and talk to the top 3. Let's go ahead and look at our top 10 finishers here tonight. Hicksonball somehow pulls this out of the hat, gets the job done, followed by Bryce Reiner. Noah Woods comes out 3rd place, Dyson 4th, Roman in 5th, Seth Foudy in 6th, Jacob Simpson in 7th, Jesse Winslow will take 8th, 9th, Hunter Truel, and Casey Graves round out your top 10.
Yeah, and then from there, you can see the rest of the drivers lined up as such. Cliff Mullins ends up in 11th, last of the cars on the lead lap. Ryan Von Henschel, first car, 1 lap down. Mason Lowry ends up in lucky spot P13. Blake Kluot in 14th place. Wesley Napier in 15th. William Owens ends up in P16. It's Jared Grodzicki ending up in 17th. Adam Benefield in P18. Daniel Llewellyn in 19th, with Tim Phillips completing your top 20.
21st looks like it's going to be Brandon Hunsinger there, 1 lap down, and the rest of your finishers there will be on your screen. We're going to read them down. Weiland, Amaro, Wheeler, Hull, Marty, Hunter, Lim, Mesnard, Deitch, and then rounding out your final 3 finishers will be Benjamin, Hoytsma, and Lindsay, rounding out your 33 finishers today. And my goodness, we're going to go ahead and bring him up in here because I'm just so stunned. I've never been so confused by the end of a race. Might as well bring him up here. You madman, Bryson Hicksonball, how in God's green earth did you make that tire last all that way?
I don't know how I did, but I managed to make it go just as long as it needed. I got a meatball and blew my tire with 4 laps to go, and you can ignore a meatball for 3 whole laps, and it was exactly enough to make it, exactly enough to hold off Bryce. I can't believe I'm sitting here in victory lane.
I'm stunned. You know, I always thought that meatball, you get like a penalty with it. Apparently not. Learned something new today. Bryson, you taught me something. Holy cow. And you and your teammate tried that strategy out together. Now, when you saw Benefield blow a tire early, did you think that, oh no, I'm done for? Or did you think you had a shot? Or what situation did you think you were in?
Oh, I thought I was done for because I thought that he had saved tires better than me, and that's why he rolled past me. I know that when he passed me in that run, I was like, he's got better tires than me. I just need to focus on slowing myself down now, make sure that my tires don't blow. Because I had that thought of more than halfway into the run, I had thought, I might blow a tire here. I need to make sure that I'm not going to. And then with about like 7 or 10 to go, I looked at the relative and I saw Bryce was coming. And I'm like, oh, I got to go anyways. I got to go. And then Adam immediately tells me I blew a tire. I'm like, oh, okay, we're really screwed here. If he's blowing a tire, I'm going to blow it any lap. But I knew I had to just send it and hope I got enough. And I managed to save it just long enough to get to the finish in this Turtle Juice Ford.
I'll be honest with you. I thought Reiner was going to get you there at the end. I mean, I was watching, and I didn't know about that rule where you can get under 5 laps and not have to serve a penalty or anything. That's amazing. And I got to tell you, you made this finish more chaotic than any finish I've ever seen. Like, I was more confused in this race than I've been in any other, man. Got the job done, got the win. Anybody you want to shout out before we let you go? And man, what a hell of a job.
Yeah, got to shout out Nick Ottinger and everybody at Team Conti Sim Performance. Every week they give excellent setups, fastest in the field basically every week. I haven't been able to talk to you guys and get a top 3 finish a lot of these weeks. Some of them my own doing, some of them just bad luck with cautions. But I'm glad to be able to talk to you guys for the 3rd time in victory lane.
Well, again, congratulations on the win, and thanks for talking with us.
Thank you guys. Hope to see you next week.
Oh, we will. Thank you. All right. Well, Ron, I tell you what, this race has gotten wild. Let's go ahead and talk to P2, who's probably a little disappointed. Let's see if we can't bring him in here. Bryce Reiner's with Ron. Go ahead.
Yeah, Bryce Reiner, welcome into the broadcast booth. It's 2nd place for you at the end of this race in one of the most bewildering finishes I've ever seen. How about you talk us through your entire race and notably the end from your perspective?
Oh, Ron, I have no idea. I'm just collecting my thoughts. But man, it was wild. I mean, from the get-go, from the start of the race, felt like we had a really decent car. Starting P26 wasn't too great, but I chose not to qualify just to see what it was. I didn't run any practice really, and no officials, anything like that. So last season I was really, really good here. Car setup felt the same, so I was just driving it to the way I felt was the right way to do it. And soon enough, I was cracking the top 10 before stage 1. So all in all, the car felt really, really good. I think I needed to get around Dyson there in the middle portion, or the 3/4 of the way through that race there, or the battle with me and Vroman and Dyson, just to create that bigger of a gap. But it was honestly a great battle. I mean, we were banging doors a little bit, scraping each other, but that's all in hard racing, honestly, and it was a blast. But yeah, I just needed to get around them quicker. I pulled away after that and set sail. I just the pit stop and chasing them down, that's a whole nother story. And honestly, I didn't know what else to do.
I'll tell you what, man, from the pace that we've seen so far this season, I think that first win is just knocking on the door. It was a fantastic drive for you. I think we'll probably see you in victory lane at some point between now and the end of the season. That is for sure. Next week, though, we're going to be running at Charlotte to round off the month of May. What are your thoughts heading there?
Charlotte's a good track. It's always a good track. The name is very big, with the Coke 600 and everything like that. But we're running the B car, so it'll be interesting. I think it'll be a lot of tire saving, as well. One of my strong suits. Maybe not one of the top guys in tire saving in this league, but very close to those guys. It's going to be a battle. I think clean air is going to be huge, just like it was tonight. But yeah, I think the stretch in May is going to be really good. Just wish our luck can change. I mean, these strategy races and the late cautions and such really hinders the pace that I can show. It's just unfortunate, another saving fuel or saving tire race to the end. But all in all, really really fun, and I think I would have got Bryson if I pitted just one lap earlier.
Yeah, but looking forward to seeing you out there on the racetrack for Charlotte next time out. Bryce, before we let you go and get some practice in for Charlotte, we'll let you give any thank yous or shout outs.
Yeah, thanks, Ron. Yeah, even though it was a tight, close battle, just one more little thing out there. I think me, Bryson, and Adam got together on the front stretch. Adam, if you're listening, I don't know exactly what happened with us or how the side drafted, worked. I apologize if you got any damage from that. I don't know if that was anything just from, the way the B car drafts now or the side draft per se. But all in all, I mean, we all fought pretty well there at the end of stage 2. So sorry about that. Hopping over to shout outs. You guys up in the booth, Kirk, Howie, and Ron, and Maconi Entertainment for putting us on. You guys are an absolute blast in the broadcast booth there and putting us on every Friday night. It's a blast to go watch these back, especially really good racing like this. Shout out to all the admins, Bryson, Jason, Bobby, everybody over there who makes this league go around, really, and probably, like I say all the time when I'm up here, really one of the best leagues out there, in my opinion, for the B car. Really, really good. Next, obviously, shout out Bryson. He definitely saved that one from me stealing it, but congrats to him as well. Huge win for him. I'll take a P2. Next, I want to give a shout out to Danny. Danny Wiles isn't here. He's on a little vacation, but I think he's tuning in. I ran really well, but I missed him. So, Danny, if you're watching, see you next week. Third, I want to thank all my sponsors, Team Conti Sim Performance, for the amazing setup. Digital Sim Sports, Martin PC, EMR Event Park, America Racing, everybody who helps me and pushes me to my limit. And we'll go on to next week, and hopefully we can show our speed and win one of these things.
As I said a bit earlier on, I feel like that win is coming very, very soon. But Bryce, thank you for joining us. Thank you for the kind words, and we'll see you next time out at Charlotte.
Yeah, thanks, Ryan. Y'all have a wonderful night.
Yep, you as well, Bryce Reiner, our P2 finisher. Kirk, with that, I'll pass the mic back off to you.
No what's getting P3.
Did you miss me?
Oh, whoa, hello.
I'm back.
Hey, Noah, it's been a while. How you been, man?
Yeah, good to hear from you guys. This is it's a big one for me. It's my first time here.
Hey, all right. It's been a while since last time I saw you in general. Good to hear from you. First time up here in the top 3. Got 3rd place, man. How's it feel? How you doing?
I mean, I'm doing pretty good. It's not it's not about how you get there. It's the fact if you get there or not. And the P1 Racing Toyota was probably like a 10th, 12th place car, but then we got caught up in something there in the start of stage 3, and at that point, it was about turning lemons into lemonade and being in the back of the field there. I only even took fuel because I had damage. I only came into pits to repair damage. So then at that point, being in the back, I was like, my only shot is to try to save these 5 laps of fuel. So I had the advantage of kind of going easy from the very beginning. I know guys like Adam, they were doing the same thing, but they're up at the front, so they were kind of going through tires a little more. I was just kind of coasting smooth through, and it just fell into our lap.
Man, that was so cool to hear that you were on the same strategies as those two, and ended up working out just because of that trouble there that you got involved with. Man, I gotta say though, top 3, didn't really expect it at all today. It seems like, and now that you got it, anybody you want to shout out?
Yeah, sure. Like I said, P1 Racing on the car. Those guys, they all watch the races. Obviously, we got Jesse and Blake in the cars here too. Shout out my dad. He didn't actually get to watch today, but he usually watches back at home. So shout out to him. And my girlfriend's also at work. So my audience was not around today, but hopefully if they get the chance to watch it back, we did good today. So thanks for all the support, and we'll try to do it again sometime soon.
Yeah, and I gotta say, man, he kind of snuck up on us there in that last bit. I didn't even notice really you got up to 3rd. I mean, you flew under the radar to a top 3. That was very hard to do. Well done, man. Congratulations on P3, and thanks for talking with us.
I got you, Kirk. Thank you.
That was Noah Woods. Man, Ron, Howie, had ourselves quite the evening here in Dover. Any final thoughts for you there, Ron?
Well, during the finish, I'm not sure what the deal was. I was starting to feel like a tingling down my arm and some chest pain that hasn't really gone away. But overall here, Dover was doing Dover things. I said this was just the weirdest racetrack of them all. It's got a monster holding a race car out in the parking lot. It's got a hotel right behind the back straightaway, the horse racing track on the infield. And we saw some very peculiar moments throughout this race. We're getting back into some normalcy between now and the end of the month of May. I misspoke. I said that Charlotte next week would be the end of the month. No, it's Nashville the week after. We still got some good racing action here on Maconi Entertainment week in and week out. Really looking forward to seeing what Charlotte may bring next time out.
Well, folks, that will just about do it for us here on Maconi Entertainment. Ron Mounts alongside here, Kirk Mills, and we got Howie Burrows up here in the booth. Thank you all so much for watching the Roller Coaster 200. We'll see you next week from Charlotte. Thanks for watching. We'll see you then.